Bitter criticism. It was so long time ago, but we are trying to make it count now. Well, I don't know what we have today. We have pretty old news. Wait a second. Oh, this, I don't know. As always, the level of the camera is not okay. It's kind of, I don't know. I guess it's right there, but right there. Bitter criticism, morning, and I guess the recent news I have is from 4 days ago, but that doesn't matter because I'm just practicing my English here. So if you don't like the news, go to CNN, go to BBC News. You don't like my hair? Well, put some artificial hair on your head. I don't know. I don't know how to say artificial hair. Anyway, we're gonna read news from 2 days ago, kind of. New World. We're gonna read news from CGTN and Russia Today, which are the best. Well, I prefer Russia Today because they are ironic, you know. They are. I like the Russians. I like how they think. They are pretty smart. I will try to find a news here that says that even Zelensky is buying Russian oil. Can you believe that? Even Zelensky, the Ukrainian president, is buying Russian oil. What stupid, isn't it? What a stupidity. Well, you will never know this on regular media. Never. Because this is a scandal, you know. You have, well, I will try to find this news. But first, we're gonna read some CGTN news from China. New world records. China's artificial sun runs for 403 seconds in steady state high confident plasma operation. This was from 2 days ago, at April 13. And this is a news that doesn't matter because this fusion energy is not on the corner, you know. Maybe in, I don't know, 10 years from now, maybe China will have a real, and that's why China is interesting, because they will have even more energy. China doesn't have natural resources or natural oil deposits, but they have communism. Yeah, that's why they can make a sun, a fusion sun. Isn't it, darling? Isn't it, my love? I'm gonna shower you, babe, because it's too stinky now. Can you see my doggy here? Come here, baby. Come here. 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 She's too fat for this. Anyway, the experimental advanced superconducting tokamak East, experimental advanced superconducting tomahawk. What these Chinese people, they always do this they made a word out of a sentence like, look, the experimental advanced superconducting tomahawk East. They always doing this. I forgotten it. I did once one of these with the word professor, but it wasn't so good, like experimental advanced superconducting tokamak East, known as the Chinese artificial sun. The East. Why East? West is, well, it is a pretty good name because China is the East, you know. Experimental advanced superconducting tokamak. What, I don't know what's tokamak. Chinese artificial sun achieved a steady state, high confident, long plasma operation for 403 seconds on Wednesday. Yeah, look. But I don't know if this is a fusion energy. But it is like almost 3 minutes. On Wednesday, a key step toward the development of a fusion reactor. Yeah. Well, I will put my bets on China. Definitely. I will try to find a China jersey, a ping pong China jersey. I'll try. The breakthrough achieved after more than 120,000 shots greatly improved the original world record of 101 seconds, which was set by East in 2017 by themselves. There is a lot of Chinese world records, isn't it? Well, I'm just reading, you know. I'm a communist, but China made all the things easier, isn't it? They made all these records. Yeah, we will rock you. We will rock the world. It will provide an important experimental basis for the operation of international thermonuclear experiment reactor and the country's independent construction and operation of fusion reactors. The ultimate goal of East, located at the Institute of Plasma Physics under the Chinese Academy of Science, ASAPP, ENFA, is to create nuclear fusion like the sun, using substances abundant in the sea to provide a steady stream of clean energy. Substances abundant in the sea. I would like to know more about this in some paragraph below, but there's not. Song Yuntao, ASEPP director, told Xinhua in an exclusive interview that the main significance of this breakthrough lies in the high confinement mode. The temperature and density of particles have been greatly increased during high confinement plasma operation, which will lay a solid foundation for improving the power generation efficiency of future fusion power plants and reducing costs, he said. Unlike fossil fuels such as coal, oil, and natural gas, this paragraph is important. Look, unlike fossil fuels such as coal, oil, and natural gas, which are in limited supply and have great environment impact, the artificial sun requires raw materials that are almost unlimited on Earth. Fusion energy is considered safer and cleaner, and therefore the ideal ultimate energy for future of humanity. Well, but we just pray for no accidents, you know. But who knows? This will be a great paragraph here. Well, I need 2 paragraphs in this article. The paragraph that talks about the raw materials in the sea, and 1 paragraph that tells about um, fusion fusion reactors dangers. That's two paragraphs that we don't have here. But anyway, since its operation in 2006, the Homeground East have been an open test platform for Chinese and international scientists to conduct fusion-related experiments and research. In January, a new plasma operation scenario, Super 1 mode, was discovered and demonstrated on the East. Is always I'm talking about the reactor, you know. At present, the engineering design of the future China Fusion Engineering Test Reactor, which it seems as the next generation artificial sun, has been completed, aiming to build the world's first fusion demonstration reactor, and then China will boom. That's absolutely great. Yeah. And the United States is broke. The United States is broke. And China is doing great. Look. Look, my doggy. Chinese is doing great, but Chinese is doing great, baby. Yeah. Oh, she don't like it. It's too much craziness. I'm sorry, Mursi. I'm really sorry. Well, now I'm gonna read another news from CGTN about Russia, and then I will read some Russia's news. Chinese FM, but which I don't know what it is. FM, like foreign ministry, I guess. Chinese foreign ministry, like King Gang appeals for keeping China-Russia ties to high level of operation. Chinese President Xi Jinping's recent successful state visit to Russia has scored fruitful achievements, providing strategic leadership for deepening China-Russia relations in the new era. Chinese State Councilor and Foreign Minister King Gang said on Tuesday. King made the remarks when meeting with Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov in Samarkand, Uzbekistan, on the sidelines of the fourth meeting of foreign ministers among the neighboring countries of Afghanistan. China is ready to work with the Russian side to implement the consensus of the two heads of state as the core task and promote bilateral relations to maintain a high level of operation, King added. In the face of a chaotic world, President Xi has put forward a series of major initiatives and ideas to promote joint efforts to build lasting peace and common prosperity, to bring together the greatest consensus of all parties and to contribute Chinese solutions to global challenges, and welcomed Russia's active support and participation, King stressed. I know I just learned this word the last week or yesterday, I guess. Stressed. Stressed is like emphasize it. For this part, Lavrov said that the high-frequency, high-level interaction and strategic cooperation demonstrated positive dynamics and full resilience of the bilateral relations. Russia is ready to work with China to implement the important consensus of the heads of state and to promote key plans for Russia-China economic cooperation, Lavrov continued. I missed the news. I'm too lost here. I'm gonna have to just say anything because I lost the news. Well, I guess it's a good plan for me to be an English teacher in East. I mean the fusion reactor plan. Or maybe the East, all the Asia civilization, I guess. because you cannot understand if this work like France uh, fission nuclear power. They will be so great that China will prosper so much. There will be lots of energy for China if they manage to have fusion energy. Fusion, like fusion is not fission. Fission is good, it's nice, it's like an atomic bomb, but fission is like a hydrogen bomb, so they need hydrogen. Oh, I lost the news. Oh no, right here. Just 1 second. For this part, Lavrov said that the high-frequency, high-level interaction and strategic cooperation demonstrated positive dynamics and full resilience of the bilateral relations. Russia is ready to work with China to implement the important consensus of the heads of state and to promote key plans for Russia-China economic cooperation, Lavrov continued. The Russian side firmly supports the Chinese side in safeguarding its core interests, actively support the Global Development Initiative, the Global Security Initiative, and the Global Civilization Initiative, and is willing to work together to maintain regional peace and stability and sustainable development, Lavrov added. The two sides also exchanged views on the Ukraine crisis, introducing the recent appeal made by China to international community. Kim stressed that to resolve the Ukraine crisis, all parties need to act voluntarily, accumulate mutual trust, and create conditions for peace talks. China is willing to promote a political solution to the crisis and play constructive roles on restarting negotiations, Kim said. Lavrov positively assessed the Chinese position. And this article was written by ChatGPT because CGTN don't say the name of the journalist. Maybe a beautiful Chinese like Chun-Li, I don't know. See, that was interesting, to know some beautiful babes. Some Chinese babes. And I guess I'm gonna read this. Yeah, I'm gonna read just this, and then I'm gonna read some news from Russia. China, April 13, 2 days ago, 2023. Lula's visit is a milestone in bilateral relations history. Wang Yi. Oh, this is I guess Wang Yi is the author. Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva visit to China is an important milestone in the history of China-Brazil relations. Wang Yi, director of the Office of the Foreign Affairs Commission of the Communist Party of China, CPC, Central Committee, said on Thursday. Yeah, well, it's not the author. Wang, also a member of the Political Bureau of the CPC Central Committee, made the remarks when meeting with Celso Amorim, Chief Special Advisor of the President of Brazil in Beijing. As the world is facing challenges unseen in a century, the upcoming strategic meeting between Chinese President Xi Jinping and Brazilian President Lula will have a worldwide impact and draw a new blueprint for the development of bilateral relations, the senior Chinese diplomat stressed. China has always viewed and developed the bilateral relations between China and Brazil for strategic perspective, Wang said. This nothing is bad writing, have no age, nothing. No, no, this is right. Not noting that the comprehensive strategic partnership between the two countries has broad prospects. Wang pointed out that as the biggest developing 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 countries in the eastern and western hemispheres, China and Brazil follow the path of development in the light of their national condition and pursue an independent foreign policy, oppose interference in the internal affairs of other countries, and oppose unilateralism from the United States. Nothing this year remarks the 10th anniversary of the Belt and Road Initiative. Wang said that China is willing to strengthen the strategic communication and deepen BRICS cooperation with Brazil, promote the expansion of BRICS countries, enhance the impact of the BRICS mechanism, and contribute to promoting the change of the global governance system. For this part, Amorim said that the world is facing global challenges like pandemic and climate change. Developing countries must be more united and cooperative than ever before, noting that China is playing an increasingly important role in global affairs, in particular by recently promoting the Saudi-Iranian dialogue in Beijing. Amorim said China has made a contribution to world peace. The two sides also exchanged views on international and regional issues of common concern. This next news is also very interesting. Look, China takes steps to deepen reform, expand, opening up, advance Chinese modernization. But I'm gonna leave this here and gonna try to find Russian news. And then I will, maybe other day, I don't know, because there's no time. No, I have none. As a journalist junkie, I don't have time for news. There's so much news to read. Oh, I'm gonna read this Bradley Blankenship, the American journalist, columnist, and no, but this is like from CGTN too. This guy writes for Russia Today and CGTN. Maybe I will read some book from him, Bradley Blankenship. But I think that was from CGTN, but looks like it's also from Russia Today. I'm pretty confused here. Just 1 second. Oh, I don't know. Try to find Russia Today. I don't know if it was Russia Today or China, CGTN. Trying to find Russia Today's news. Oh, Russia Today don't have a... I don't know if it was Russia Today. Look, I'm gonna read that. This. And let's see if it is from Russia Today or from the format. Looks like Russia Today, but the text said CGTN. Anyway, the US spied on its key allies. Will they finally resist? We're wiretapping its partners. Could open Washington's own global security architecture. Washington's own global security architecture. Maybe this is from Denmark, isn't it? Like the US was spying on Denmark. Look, this maybe is from CGTN. Bradley Blankenship is an American journalist, columnist, and political commentator. He was syndicated column at CGTN and is a freelance reporter for international news agencies, including Xinhua News Agency. And we have a photograph from Pentagon. Pentagon logo is seen ahead of a press conference at the Pentagon January 28, 2022 in Arlington, Virginia on January 28. Yeah, this is probably from CGTN. US President Joe Biden's administration is in a serious bind after officials were made aware last week that a cache of secret documents was leaked in March showing the US spied on allies. One of the most damning leaks revealed extensive details of the US military support in Ukraine and the exact location of troops, supply specifications, and other information related to Kiev's upcoming spring offensive against Russia. But another important leak surfaced too. Korean media reported that the CIA files revealed that the US appears to have been spying on the South Korean National Security Office, NSO, in Seoul. The NSO is described as the control tower of South Korea's security decision-making. Additionally, the leaked reports show that the US has also been spying on the UK, Canada, and Israel. The Korean details are the most serious allegations because they involve outright wiretapping. The documents show that South Korean government officials were put in a difficult position, overstanding lethal aid to Ukraine because it might be seen by the public as a quid pro quo for a state visit. That state visit by South Korean President Yoon Suk Yeol is slated for April 26. The South Korean leader now has to deal with the prospect of visiting his closest allies in Washington while knowing they most probably conducted illegal wiretapping against his country, upsetting Seoul's national interests and threatening the country's sovereignty. The documents have, for the most part, been recognized as legitimate, notwithstanding a few manipulation of casualty figures, and the reaction from Washington obviously suggests they are real. This paragraph reminds me some movie, I guess the name is The Host, and it's from 2006, and this show the argument is that the US treat South Korea like a backyard. True. True, because they treat South America forever, since ever, like that. Thus, the US is in a sticky situation. It is clearly no coincidence that all of the countries joining Washington's proxy war in Ukraine, sending arms and joining sanctions against Russia are under the US nuclear umbrella and have US troops stationed within their borders. That alone suggests that the national governments of these countries are under significant strategic pressure on joining Washington's crusade. Yeah. And this is the US nuclear umbrella is not about nuclear guns, but nuclear weapons, but nuclear alliance. However, illegal spying is another thing. It's such a brazen violation of national sovereignty that no leader can afford to accept this without suffering domestic political ramifications. In order to repair the public opinion damage and survive future elections, the victims of Allied spying might have to talk back their level of support for the US as a response to the surveillance campaign. This is why some have called the revelations the most damaging since former NSA contractor Stewart Snowden exposed the global US spying campaign through bulk data collection, and who then faced a witch hunt from Washington only to find refuge in China, in Russia. Yeah, Snowden. And this is a shame that this guy who was in the Ecuadorian embassy, I don't remember his name, it's not Snowden, but well, I forgot the name, I guess. The Australian journalist that created WikiLeaks, I forgot the name. Snowden, I don't remember now. Well, he's being killed by, I don't know by what, by England. Yeah, England is killing the WikiLeaks creator. And they will kill me too. I'm right here on planet Mars. I'm here in planet Mars. Since former NSA contractor Edward Snowden exposed the global US spying campaign through bulk data collection, and who then faced a witch hunt from Washington only to find refuge in Russia, it is likely that however leaks these documents will face a stern prosecution, as the Pentagon announced its own probe into the source of the leaks, having been instructed by the White House. The damage is probably already done. April 26 could see the first domino fall if President Yoon is pressed to walk back his support of Washington's strategic posturing vis-a-vis Ukraine due to domestic backlash. But it will probably not be the last, as friend and foe alike point to America's lack of good faith in dealing with partners, resorting to espionage instead of negotiation. This is of course not the first time that the US has been accused of spying on its allies. In 2015, investigation revealed that the US spied on key European allies through Danish channels. Yeah, I knew that. Widely reported in May 2021, it was confirmed that at least from 2012 to 2014, the US spied on senior officials in France, Norway, Sweden, and Germany, including former Chancellor Angela Merkel, former Foreign Minister Frank Walter Steinmeier, and others. This is a pretty long news, but I'm gonna read it anyway because it's a good. I like this. I like this guy. I like this journalist. It's not likely a coincidence that the KUS partners are now saying they want to avoid being mere lakeys to Washington's global empire. For example, French President Emmanuel Macron told Politico following his recent visit to China that Europe must resist pressure to become America's followers. Soon after, European Council Chief Charles Michel said European leaders are warming up to the French president's idea for the US to maintain a global security framework and station troops in their allied countries is one thing. It may be seen by some as military occupation of the given country. However, there are arguably some benefits to this. By allowing countries like Japan, South Korea, and others to outsource their security needs and associated costs to the US, they can focus more on their economic development. This was in fact a major reason why the demilitarization of Japan was acceptable for Tokyo. This is also why the pro-Trump sector of the US is against the current security arrangement with K allies. with K allies. The last paragraph. That being said, illegal espionage at the highest levels is completely unacceptable and raises serious red flags about whether the current security arrangements of the US and its allies is fair to legitimate. These latest leaks could lead to a dramatic change in the current status in the current status quo, or else voters in these countries may well demand it. The upcoming meeting between Yoon and Biden could be the first in a long chain of painful strategic losses for Washington. Well, you know what I really think about the multilateralism and espionage? Is that espionage is normal. If you have an empire like the United States, you actually can spy all your allies, because if you have an ally, they actually your ally and doing good things for you, I guess you never can rely on nothing, you know. You should be a skepticist. Like even me, that I'm communist and I support the US, the extend the USSR. Well, you have to spy everybody. Simple like that. You have to spy. If you have control, you want to have control, you will have to spy. I don't know if this news was from Russia Today or CGTN, but I guess this from Russia Today because of the format. And they said that the journalist was a CGTN journalist anyway. But you know, the big problem is not espionage. It's not espionage. The big problem is ideology. Always is ideology. Look, communism, it is an ideology. It's good for, in my opinion, communism is the best thing human beings can do. Like, thanks to communism, China is building the Chinese sun. Thanks to communism, thanks to Karl Marx. Because even like in Cuban or Russian Revolution, they made a revolution because of exploiting, and that's fine to make a revolution. But then you have to create something. You have to do something, isn't it? You have the power, you have the control, so you have to do something. And if you ask me, if what I will do in their position, I will have to study Marxism, you know, study a lot, to do things, to do anything. Studying a lot of economy, you know, reading the Capital, calling for help for more academics, you know, to understand what to do after the revolution, you know, and all that came after the revolution by Marxism is a progress, you know. You cannot say the same thing for Haiti or very small countries that made the revolution, or France. Yeah, France, you have capitalism, and that's fine. But even French development, even French development, and is thanks to Karl Marx. Again, because Russian Revolution became a Marxist state, and then this state influenced all over the world, influenced France. So even European development is thanks to Marx. It's thanks to Marxism. I'm gonna read at least short news. I'm trying to find a short news here, but I don't find it. I'm not finding it. Look, looks like we have one here. World faces most dangerous period of time in history. This is definitely from Russia Today because I remember this from Russia Today. The former U.S. president has warned that incompetent leaders and advanced weaponry have imperiled people more than ever. I don't know what's imperiled. I'm gonna read the dictionary. Former U.S. President Donald Trump gestures to onlookers that last week during the event at his Mar-a-Lago resort in Florida. There's a dog there. No, there's the same dog. These guys know that dog. This is a good dog, but they fight. The world has been pushed to the brink of total destruction by inept leaders and nuclear weapons that are 100 times as powerful as the atomic bombs as the American forces dropped on Japan during World War II. Former U.S. President Donald Trump was claimed. Well, I'm not gonna read all this because some way Russia Today likes Trump. But as I was saying here, I guess they like Trump because he's not a globalist, you know. He's not a. I remember that Trump asked for European nations to pay more on NATO. And anyway, the world has been pushed to the brink of total restriction. I just read that. Look, we could end. Look, we could end up in World War II, in World War III over this whole thing. Trump said in a Fox News interview that was aired on Wednesday night. He added, "I believe it is the most dangerous period of time in history. Number one, because we have people on top that incompetent. That's number one." Trump made this comment in the context of the Russia-Ukraine crisis. Russian officials have warned that increasing US and NATO involvement in Ukraine, including massive military aid to Kiev, could escalate the crisis into a wider conflict, possibly involving nuclear weapons. Asked by host Tucker Carlson, who has been last year's bombing of Russia's Nord Stream pipelines in the Baltic Sea, who has behind last year, Trump said it wasn't Moscow. He implied that Washington was involved in the sabotage, saying, "I don't want to get our country in trouble, so I won't answer it." Well, Trump is acting well. I'm not a Trump supporter, I'm not right-wing, but this is what a Russian expect from. Russia prefer Trump because Trump is not making war, isn't it? Look, Russia didn't blow up Nord Stream. Trump, the former president, acknowledged that it was very dangerous to blow up the pipelines, adding, "I think most people know who did it." Asked whether the US put itself at risk on retaliatory strikes on its critical infrastructure, he said, I think much more than is infrastructure we are talking about. Anyway, we have just more 2 minutes. 2 minutes reading the Trump news. Trump also warned that nuclear weapons are the biggest threat facing the world today, and the US and Russian arsenals could cause unprecedented destruction. All it takes is one madman, and you are gonna have a problem the likes of which the world has never seen. Trump, who is currently pulling as the leading Republican Party candidate in the 2024 presidential race, blamed current US relationship for heightening the risk of nuclear war within Russia and China. The most dangerous period of time because of weaponry. The most dangerous period of time in history of our country and the history of the world right now. And we have an incompetent person at the top. Well, that's pretty normal in politics, isn't it? I guess I'm not gonna say that I'm a Trump supporter, but that's why I guess people. Well, once I was hearing this Brazilian channel, COTV, Causa Operária TV, and they say something like, if Trump will be elected instead of Biden, they will not gonna bomb the Nord Stream. They will not make war. Trump just gonna, I don't know, try to give American people some bad work, like all the work in the world, and that's why we all should be communists, to improve the work conditions. The working conditions.